But let's bring in Olumide Adesina, our financial market analyst, to bring us up to speed. Hello, Olumide.
Yeah.
Happy New Year, Olumide. Great to have you. So we're seeing, BlackRock clients there acquiring about 3,948 Bitcoin, valued at $372 million. So we know the story from 2025. The likes of Strategy and some other big institutional investors, acquiring Bitcoin. Is that the trend we're seeing in 2025? What are you seeing so far for price action of Bitcoin?
I think when you look at the chart historically, 2025 wasn't so good for Bitcoin, despite hitting its all-time high. It settled below 90,000 at the last trading session of the year. But looking at January, we're seeing strong positivity, primarily from Bitcoin. And bookmakers are betting that the event in Venezuela will put in 60 billion worth of Bitcoin under lock. You recall that President Trump ordered the arrest of Maduro, and that pretty much changed the dynamics in the Latin American country, which is the world's largest producer of, has the world's largest reserves for crude oil. And Ladi, because of the sanction, that country used to use Bitcoin for transactions. So the dynamics is the bet is that that will give Bitcoin some form of demand, because you're going to see less Bitcoin out there since Venezuela is reported to have about 60 billion. Then BlackRock traditional investor, trickling in millions of dollars into that ETF, unsurprisingly putting Bitcoin back above the 92,000 support. But, it's very early in the year. Geopolitical uncertainty remains elevated. This is the time when investment portfolio managers, banks reposition. So it's really very tricky, Ladi, to put in a bet on where Bitcoin direction will be. But we're looking at last year and this year, it's safe to say that there's really going to be a lot of consolidation and market correction this year, primarily because we are seeing the US Fed still backing on not being aggressive with rate cuts. We're seeing the fact that uncertainty around major economies, we're seeing inflation being peaky, deflation in China. All these concerns really play in the crypto market, despite the fact that it's looking green today.
From what we've seen so far, it seems Latin America, it seems to have a thing, for Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies. So would you say, what's playing out there is bullish for Bitcoin?
Yeah, primarily because we don't really know if it's true that Venezuela has $60 billion worth of Bitcoin stash. These are reports, that has not yet been validated. But we understand that the dynamics is that if the new person in Colombia dances to the whims of Donald Trump, probably there might not be need to stash in Bitcoin. But the positive thing about Bitcoin holdings in that area is that it has brought in adoption. Don't forget that the country that has the highest adoption in the world is El Salvador, and it's a central Latin American country with strong exposure, which has brought a lot of light to that country. So yeah, it brings positivity, but the volatility that comes with that asset class makes it very unreliable for traditional finance.
All right, so what are you seeing for stable coins in 2026?
Well, I think with the IPOs coming in the world's largest economy, like Seku, we're seeing Tita also repositioning, getting some infusion and diversifying. I think it's more going to be who takes the larger pie, because the banks also are really fighting stablecoin issues, particularly the fact that they don't want them to have bank charter in the world's largest economy. I think we're going to have fragments. We're seeing what's happening in Europe already. USDT is not playing the tough because they don't have the Mecca license, so it's Seku that controls that place. Tita controls Africa, Asia. So I think, gladly, we're going to have more of regional powers trying to consolidate, and we're going to see interesting products, particularly Ripple's RUSD. I expect expansion in that. PwC recently gave an upgrade on the Ripple giant infrastructure, saying that they really have a stay in traditional finance for the long term. So it's going to be interesting innovations this year for stablecoins, Ladi.
All right, definitely we're here for it. Tracking all the developments right there in the crypto space. Thank you so much, Olumide Adesina. Thank you.
Thank you for having me. Yeah.